every day I'm just one step closer to becoming a pop culture monster. Hello my lovely beans and welcome back finally to another GEEK-IY video, a geek it yourself. It's a DIY that's geeky. The name's very straightforward. So over the last couple of months I have 100% given myself over to the enamel pin game. Enamel pins and patches are very trendy right now and I've definitely been buying them the last couple of months. No shame, a little bit of shame. And I found myself in a position where I now have all of these amazing pins but nowhere to feasibly put them. So I decided that I needed an enamel pin board, and why buy it when you can GEEK-IY it? Look at what I made! I'm really proud of this for whatever reason. As you can see, I made kind of a mermaid shell inspired enamel pin board, and it's got some backing and an awesome little ribbon that you can hang it on your wall for. And this GEEK-IY was so simple. This was so easy to make, and it really is the perfect holster right now for my pins so that I can see them and remember everything that I have, because I'm one of those people that I forget what I own unless it's right in front of me. So I'm gonna teach you guys how I did it. And the great thing about this project is that if you don't want your pin board to be in this shape, you can pretty much supplement any shape with this. Just print out a template online and you're good to go. So without further ado, let's geek it. The main component of our pin board is this EVA foam. You can buy this at Walmart or on Amazon in the form of kids puzzle mats, which is what you can see mine is made out of. It's super inexpensive and very sturdy, but you want to make sure you get a thick one so that the pins won't go through the back of it. Mine is 10 millimeters. Next, if you can't draw like I can't draw, you're gonna need a template for your shape. I just printed off this shell shape offline and I made it as big as the paper would allow me to, and then you're gonna want to go ahead and just cut that bad boy out. Now that we've got our beautiful shape, you're gonna grab a Sharpie, something that you'll be able to see on the EVA foam. I chose silver, and begin to trace out your shape. Once you're done tracing it, also be sure to incorporate the details of your shape onto there. For me, it's the lines on the shell. This is the only thing that, God help me, I actually freehanded, and it's important to do that because it will come in handy later on, trust me. Once that's on there in a way that you really like, you've got your details, it's time to grab either an X-Acto knife or a pair of scissors and cut it out of the EVA foam, which is actually very easy to do. It's one of the reasons why I love EVA foam, though if you want to get a little bit more detailed, I do recommend using the X-Acto knife. For mine, a pair of scissors was just fine. Ta-da! Now we get to the fun painting part. I don't know how I thought that was in focus. I'm using a sort of aquamarine acrylic paint. Acrylic paints are great because they're very inexpensive. You can find them at any craft store in a variety of colors. And I'm applying one coat at a time until I feel the black is entirely covered. For me, that meant 2 coats, and remember to really let the first one fully dry before applying a second coat. And don't forget in between coats to also get those sides because they will be visible. Now that all of your acrylic paint is dry, you may notice that you have some sort of, like tracing points on there from your Sharpie. That's right, the Sharpie and the EVA foam kind of makes a nice little stencil for you that you're going to cover in puff paint. I'm using a green metallic puff paint, and be sure if you've never used puff paint before to kind of test it on a sheet of paper first. It can sometimes take kind of a little bit of practice to make these lines and make them even with puff paint. So try to give yourself a little bit of practice before you start. Do some tracing on a different piece of paper and then go in for it. Trace over your lines and make all of your beautiful details. Also keep in mind that puff paint takes a lot longer than normal paint to dry, so I'm going to let this puff paint dry overnight. Look at how pretty that looks. Oh my god. So now that the front of our enamel pin board is looking just simply gorgeous, it's time to work on the back. So I'm using a purple piece of felt, a single piece will do, and a gold Sharpie that will show up on the purple just for tracing purposes. And that's what you're gonna do. You're going to trace around your shell. I like to use the actual physical pin board instead of the original template, just because you never know exactly what has changed in the sizing of that. So you're gonna go right around that shape and trace it out. And then, who would have guessed it, we're going to cut that out. Once it's cut out, be sure to flip it onto the back of your pin board to make sure that it fits, and once it does, we can begin to hot glue this right onto the back. The last thing we need to do is add a ribbon to this so that we can hang our pin board up. So I'm taking a pair of scissors and I'm going to cut 2 slits adjacent to one another where I want the ribbon to be placed on the back of my board. I cut myself a small piece of ribbon ribbon and I'm going to stick one of the ends into one of the slits that I've created. Then I'm going to put a drop of hot glue on the inside of the slit so that I can press it down and really lock it in there. Repeat that on the other side, and once you're done, I'm also going to lift the ribbon up on the back and put another drop of hot glue on there just to really ensure that this isn't going anywhere. And now we have our final product that you can start decorating with your beautiful, beautiful pins. Like I said at the beginning of the video, I absolutely love this. I love how it showcases my pins to myself and to others. And I've had this hanging on my wall for a good couple days. None of these pins have gotten loose. If you go like this, none of them are falling out. It's really durable, it's cute, it's cheap, it's easy, it's fun. And now you know how to make one. Thank you guys so much for watching this GEEK-IY. If you want to see more of them, if you have suggestions of things that you want me to make, be sure to leave them in the comments. And of course, if you try out this project on your own, whether you make a different shape, whether you go with the shell shape, please be sure to send it to me on Twitter or Instagram at Kristen. Send it my way. I would love to see that. I know I'm definitely gonna make a couple more different shaped ones in the future. If you liked this video, be sure to hit that thumbs up button and share this video with your pin trading loving friends. If you want to become a member of my squad, the Powered by Caffeine team, be sure to hit that subscribe button. And thanks as always to my special blend beans. These are my Patreon supporters. They directly influence my crafting abilities. They make it possible. If you're interested in joining, you can get immediate perks by heading over to patreon.com/shutupkristen. Thank you in advance. I love you, lovely beans, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!